Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hey everybody, how are y'all? Welcome to my channel. I'm KingBritneyChanel, you already know. So I am back with yet another video. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is KingBritneyChanel. The king is before me. A king is a descendant and a ruler of a divine race. So shout out to the 12 tribes of Yasharah.
I already know it's your girl Britney Chanel.
So let's talk about what I told y'all a while back. I have literally so many Kevin Samuels videos about what is happening to the Manosphere, how the Manosphere is a myth, how the Manosphere is nothing more than an attempt to get men to, number one, not really care for women, right? And I kind of told you guys about how the serpent wanted this to happen, right? So, like when Abaya talks about Yasharah, he mentions Yasharah as the woman with the child, right? The serpent has a hatred for the woman. And this has been repeated in the hearts of a lot of wicked men today, right? So I already told y'all some time ago when these men would sit up in the Manosphere space putting out word curses on women that Abaya was not pleased. As any father, you're not going to allow your daughters to be continuously attacked, especially daughters who have been put in such a great position by Abaya, because we didn't choose our role. Abaya has given us our role. He is the creator, but he allows women to, kind of have the gift of where, Abaya's desires are then in our womb, right? And they become from the spiritual realm, and they become manifested, in the physical realm, right? That is the beautiful part about being a woman, right? That's a very beautiful part. It's a very special role, okay, that we have, right? So with that being said, because Abaya uses our vessel to bring forth life, right? To kind of protect life in there and all kind of stuff. He takes this very seriously with these men who are creating groups of men to come for women, basically. And it's literally like I said, I'm not for that women's sphere stuff, and I'm not for the manosphere type of activity where it's like a war of each side, right? You have women that don't like men who are creating content, and you have men who do not like women who are creating content. And there's no in between of, okay, yeah, this is messed up about what's going on in the relationships between man and woman, and we could fix it by this. There's no in between. It's just, oh, these dudes ain't this, or oh, all women is this, that, and the third. So you have two extremes on each side, right? And I told y'all, I do not create content that gets into either side. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's not pleasing to the Most High Yah. It's just not. We were created, especially man is supposed to take a wife, okay? Because that's you're commanded to do so, right? Anything else outside of that, that you're getting into fornication. So man is commanded to take a wife. He's also commanded to love Hamashiach. No, not yeah, he is commanded to do that also, but I didn't mean to say that. He's commanded to love his wife like Hamashiach loves the church. We know the church is Hamashiach's people, right? So a man is supposed to treat a woman and have love for her like he would care for even his own self. So you know what they say, women are a reflection of the man that they are with, right? So, and it was real deep, because I saw it in 50 Cent, it was a clip going around where 50 Cent was like, when he goes shopping for a woman or he buys her shoes, he's really buying it for himself, because he does not, like, you wouldn't go outside looking crazy, right? You don't, or if you have a woman, you have kids, that's a reflection of you. So you're not going to want your kids or your wife looking bummy. So you're going to want them looking like they're well taken care of, because if you're not taking care of them, you're not taking care of yourself. It's like you and your wife become one flesh, right? This is why Abba Yah told men not to bind themselves or a wicked woman, because you clearly know that that's going to reduce you spiritually. So what's going on is, like, you had these content creators like Kevin Samuels pushing this doctrine of women being average at best, when the Most High Yah said in his word, we were fearfully and wonderfully created, okay? We are made in the Most High Yah's image, so there's nothing average about, and I'm speaking specifically, like, and you know, other women, they were watching Kevin, but I'm speaking specifically to the daughters of Zion. Like, we are Abba Yah's daughters. So there's nothing average about us. And the Most High Yah would never allow men to put down his creations. Like, you know how they had that song Amazing Grace? And they had the part of the song that saved a wretch. Like, who are you to call any of Yah's creations a wretch? So that's kind of like the philosophy that these men had, calling these women average at best, saying that they had a market value of whatever. Like, you cannot put a value on what the Abba Yah has created. Even if that person is not necessarily in the standing that they're supposed to be in, because we're in a wicked society. And Babylon has influenced wickedly a lot of things. So a lot of people are not where they should be at spiritually at this point. But Abba Yah still has grace and mercy where they can be afforded to hear the truth and eventually change their life, like, at any point. You know what I'm saying? So in continuation of what I was saying, y'all, in the clips before, I was just talking about how, like, behavior in the manosphere that I noticed, like, the word curse is like average at best, and it's just like, who in their right mind, like, let's just think about this logically, would dare to insult any creation that the Most High Yah has made and call it average, and then think that it's not going to be repercussions behind calling anything that Abba Yah has created average? Like, you have to really think about this stuff. This is the stuff that the men in the manosphere have been doing, right? So even like I said, they were commanded to love their wives. First of all, commanded to take wives, then commanded to love their wife like Hamashiach loves the church. And in love, there is sacrifice, right? And also, when you love somebody, you are, even if they're wrong, you're doing it you're correcting them in a loving fashion. It's not meant to create a whole mockery of women, and you just really see the hatred of women just festering in the manosphere, like just a whole group mentality where it's just like offness in their mind, where they just sit around to congregate about bitterness towards women. It's crazy. And it's so crazy that the young men that have not even experienced stuff like baby mama drama, child support, women, you know, just because we gonna be honest, there are some women that are off, but there are young men that have not even experienced, you know, a woman taking them for alimony, baby mama, child support, all of that stuff. And they literally are indoctrinating these young men to say, oh, women are trying to take my money that they do not have, money that they are not really if we think about it economically, they're not at the playing field that the other groups of men are at. So what money would these women be taking? But listen, then the whole kind of indoctrinating the women to want people to have six figures and all the rest of this foolishness, and that's a so-called high quality man. Y'all look at the playlist that I have where I talked about Kevin Samuels and the cronies that follow Kevin Samuels, because they dropping like flies. I'm talking about people going broke, like in poverty, people just dropping like flies. And I told y'all that the Most High Yah was not going to be mocked with this whole situation. Like, what father, right? Let's think about this. What's going on in the melanated community as far as the men. So when the man got out of order in the garden, because the whole concept of Adam, he was in charge, okay? He faltered his authority to the woman because of, whatever his situation was. Maybe he thought, if he didn't, he was just so, I would say, enamored with grandmother Chihuahua. I would say that. So that happens. The punishment for that is now they're not in their rightful position in the head seat. Even though they're in the headship seat, their punishment was now you got everything else out of order, where the woman now, if you see the agendas that they have for the woman, is to triumph over them and certain stuff. But then some of that, because some stuff I say is an agenda. Some stuff I say is just men not getting themselves together to be able to be at a place. Because even if all of that is going on, if you serve the one true living Elohim, stuff like that cannot stop you. Because if you're actively in a you have a relationship with Abba Yah, you are praying diligently, vigilantly, on the wall as a watchman like you're supposed to be, then this stuff, you're not really dealing with this stuff, because Abba Yah is already filtering out this stuff when he's giving you a wife, or if he's giving you a husband. This stuff is being filtered out. But you got to also remember, because I did other videos before too, talking about how men have influenced this culture behind these women being out of order, like, promiscuity, all of this stuff. Everything was all good in the hood until it wasn't anymore. So now they like, where have all of the good women went? It's good women still, because you got nuts talking on the Manosphere talking about there ain't no good women out there. And that's just nutty. Meanwhile they sitting up on the YouTube spewing out word curses, and we haven't seen no track record of any woman saying that they love these men, and that they're good parents, they're good mates. None of this, right? It's just crazy. So basically what y'all are seeing is vengeance, like I said, belong to Abba Yah. I told y'all I don't sit around in these women's spheres with spewing hatred toward men or anything like that, because like I said, I don't do the gender war back and forth. I just like, to talk Torah, and that's how you know that you living right, is if your lifestyle is lining up with what Abba Yah said that your lifestyle is supposed to be. You know a man by his fruit. So if you're doing stuff in the way Abba Yah told you to do it, then your life is going to reflect that. If you're not, then your life is going to reflect that. And that's what we see going back and forth with the men and the women. Women getting into stuff, and then men getting into stuff. But the men, you got a lot going on with them. You stole wives because you're sampling different women here, and that's promoted. Promiscuity in men is promoted. Fornication in men is promoted, right? Even some of these female rappers that men complain about now that are leading the women in a certain direction, a lot of the pins behind some of these female rappers and what they were saying are male rappers and stuff like that influence that sort of stuff. Like, just think, if you want to think about what I'm talking about, how if you watch the Notorious B.I.G. movie, how Biggie was telling Lil Kim to act. That is what I'm talking about. So a lot of these men today, they complain about how these female rappers look and the blueprint for female rappers, but a lot of these men was behind these female rappers and the stuff that they were saying in their lyrics. So that's what I mean by that. So now they're complaining that the monster that was created has been created, and now it's just not fit to be what they want as wife material. But also, like I said, they're sampling Yah's daughters here, there, everywhere, which is violation, fornication. And in our culture, because like I said, on my channel, I don't deal with, stuff that, how people give relationship advice and the rest of this stuff, and it's no solution to what the current situation is. All this stuff ties back to Torah and the rules, regulations, and laws that the Most High Yah put down. And this is why you see everything is chaotic and out of order, because people don't follow what the Most High Yah put forth, the rules, laws, and stuff he put forth, his word, basically. So, complaining about that, but this H-monger type of philosophy, because once they sample a woman, they're supposed to take that woman as a wife. There's no such thing as a baby mama in the Torah. Like, so they owe Abaya a bride price and a dowry for the daughters that they're sampling. It don't matter, even if this man is like, oh well, and then it's just so loosely how they have fun with different women. And in our culture, there's no such thing as you're having fun with any woman or loose situationship type of stuff. Like, so now that soul side has been created, and you see the negative implications of that, because you see the men in the community suffering from poverty and all kind of stuff in the community because of the lack of discipline in certain areas. So I said all of this about the stupid stuff that they was teaching in the Manosphere. You had men like Kevin Samuels talking about it needed to be a whole space with just men and no women on the island. And men just was acting like they just totally missed him saying that. Now, it was, like I said, it was some men like, nah, hold on. Wait a second, bro. I don't want to be in a world without women. So, to go against what Abaya set forth and the roles that Abaya set forth, and you acting like you don't have love for his daughters, is just totally crazy. And what father would not come for any young man that is disrespecting his daughters? The daughters could be lost and wayward. That doesn't mean that Abaya is still not wanting his daughters to return to him and to change from the wickedness that they're experiencing in Babylon. Like, if you were born in Babylon, you were influenced by a lot of Babylonian culture, because a lot of these dudes in the Manosphere just like to talk about America and how America is so this and so that. America is all around the world. They speak in English all around the world. So America is just not in the United States. America has touched all around the world. So that culture has influenced all around the world. This is why I felt like, what are these passport bros talking about going to another place? Like, this stuff is all around the world. They're touching different continents with this sort of thing. Like, media is all around the world. So this behavior and stuff, if you got to remember, a lost people, really we weren't lost, we were scattered, but we could not remember who we were at the time until Abaya decided it was going to be time for the awakening to happen. And it's just not just you knowing that, oh, I'm this or I'm that. It's just the awakening to happen, like to get back to your culture and the ways, because the people without a culture, they're a lost and wayward people, and they're going to be participating in all kind of stuff that they should not. So we got our grandparents and their grandparents that was doing traditions of man that they was not necessarily supposed to be into, due to going into captivity and the rest of that stuff. So getting to a point where you have to unlearn all of that stuff, you have to, the same way the Most High Yah has mercy and grace for people, you have to exhibit that same type of grace for people. Now, granted, we supposed to cry aloud and spare not, but that's not what these men are doing. These men are literally on the internet grouping together to bash women, to put women down, and literally to spew out that, oh, women is not going to be this, that, or the third. And you got to think about how deep that was, that Kevin Samuels was telling women they was going to go on alone, and he went on alone with a woman that wasn't even his wife, wasn't even a real loved one, and in a compromising position that he was in. So, Abaya is not playing with these people at all. Like, they going over They coming back in bags and stuff like that. They dropping young because they keep putting their mouth on women. Instead of you trying to put women down, why not say what the Torah is saying? Why not uplift the people, whether they be man or woman? Why try to put either or down? Because I'm not for either or. People putting the people down. It's a lost people. Like, I just think about the Rahab type of story and how, you know, the Most High used Israel, because Israel was committing all kind of H-doms all amongst the place, and Abaya still wants to be married to her, right? So what had to happen? She had to literally go on to be a new creation, and Abaya started his slate over with giving us Hamashiach so that we could repair the marriage, the covenant between the two. So that's what you have to think about when you think about people, either man or woman, repairing the relationship, and that's, they're able to do that, becoming new creations and in Hamashiach, basically. So I don't count people out, because you got people, when they talk about either man or woman, they talk about them in a doomsday type of fashion, and it's like, you're not the author or finisher of nobody's faith. You don't know the end or the beginning of somebody's, you know, time. So it's just, people have to learn how to keep their mouth. Abaya is, like I said, clearly not playing. It clearly looked like it's a whole judgment on that whole Manosphere thing. You see them just dropping, being made examples of, going outside. And this is not even to really just even laugh at them. It's just like, you would be looking at these examples and then changing your wicked ways. So that's my thoughts on that, y'all. Y'all kept asking me what I thought about some of these people in the Manosphere dropping. That's my thoughts. I've been telling y'all years prior that this was going to happen, where you was going to see different people being made examples of. I told y'all even the Israelite, so-called Israelite dudes that be up here popping and spewing out word curses, that you was going to see them too. Because, you know, we supposed to speak life. That commandment to keep your mouth and not to be speaking negative and all the rest of that stuff, that was real talk. And you just gotta speak life instead of curses. But don't get it twisted. If you mess with the wrong person, like somebody that's a servant of the Most High Yah, a daughter or a son of the Most High Yah, especially if they on assignment, that's not going to be well with you. And a prime example of that is Miriam and the whole Moshe situation. How Miriam and Aaron was in a little corner talking about Moshe. Next thing you know, her whole head, she was turning another color. So just think about that. Like, Abaya, he not a respecter of person, so you could think, oh, because I'm an Israelite, I could speak on another person. Or, oh, because I'm this, I could deal treacherously with other people. And that's, Abaya's not playing those type of games. See y'all soon on the next video.
Hey honeys, thank you for watching my video. And if you haven't, definitely make sure you check out my Teespring, KingBritneyChanel Couture, where you can find my latest merch. I upload a lot of new designs frequently, so definitely make sure you check it out. We have mugs, we have wall tapestries, canvas art, pillows, fleece blankets, apparel, and so much more. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all on my next video.